Also part of our triple header on CBS, we have LSU and Bama. A bit of a revenge factor for Bama here with LSU winning this matchup last season. Bama, they've won 6 straight after losing to Texas at home this season. Do you think Bama, Jalen Milroe, that offense can make it 7 straight versus this LSU team?
I think they can. I think this is the toughest matchup they've had thus far. But we've said that about a bunch of other teams as well. I mean, when they were going to play Texas A&M, we were thinking that, maybe this Texas A&M team has their number. But LSU, to me, presents a problem because of Jaden Daniels. He's a one-man wrecking crew. I've, gone on record time after time saying that this kid should be in New York. He's one of the best dynamic playmakers in college football, and he carries this team. I didn't like very much last year when he was their leading rusher. But this year they've remedied that. They're starting to run the ball. But this team is stacked. Their defense is starting to play a little bit better. But Alabama, they've surprised me. This is I think like a lot of other analysts, kind of eating a little crow and a little humble pie, not in terms of Alabama's trajectory for this season, but how they would go about their business. Having Jalen Milroe, coming into the season, and I quoted, a couple of our HQ analysts, I think Barrett Sallee said that, Jalen Milroe gives them a high floor. And I agreed with him when he said that. And I thought, hey, they're going to run the ball. They're going to double down on the quality of their offensive line because this Alabama team has still consistently recruited 4- and 5-star talent. They're elite independently of their quarterback. So it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. This team is still good everywhere else. They need a quarterback to make it go. And I thought they were going to double down on their toughness, run the ball with Jalen Milroe, a few scripted passes here and there. But totally the opposite has been the case. Jalen Milroe was turned into, a bomb expert, throwing these moon balls, and they're striking people left and right. And sometimes they don't run for a whole lot of yards, but they're still talented and their defense is playing well. So this will be a really, really good game. But I think it's the biggest test for Alabama to see if they can be some semblance of that complete team that we're used to seeing Alabama play with Jalen Milroe as their quarterback. And this quarterback-to-quarterback matchup is amazing in this matchup. LSU, Jaden Daniels, to me, he's the bee's knees. He's the dude. So it's going to be a fun matchup to watch and see what happens versus Alabama.
Yeah, you're not the only person that thinks Jaden Daniels should be there in New York. That's come up a lot, especially leading up to this matchup. But in the past with Bama and LSU, we've seen a point spread as much as 28. That was back in 2020, and now it feels like this rivalry is being renewed. How good is it for college football that this rivalry is renewed? And does it make a difference in college football when Bama is winning? Like we said, they've won 6 straight.
It makes college football better when Bama, one of your biggest branded programs in one of the toughest conferences, is good. We're used to seeing Alabama as a contender, and it's nice to have them in the conversation. They're built a certain way. Coach Nick Saban, has crafted this team over the years in such a way where, no self-respecting analyst, is really going to bet against them, in matchups. It's hard to pick against Alabama because they consistently come back to the table and figure out a way to get things done. And I think it's a testament to not only the talent they have, but also the quality of coaching that Coach Nick Saban surrounds himself with. We joke around and say that, Coach Nick Saban runs the biggest, scorned or fired coaching rehab clinic in the country because he takes all these people who have lost their jobs. They come in as analysts and they enrich this Alabama program, and then they go on to get head jobs. We see this all over the country with guys that have come in and out of, Nick Saban's program. So I think, that's more of a testament to what he's built there. But I think that's why, we're always going to tune in when they play a big game. And we're always going to see, hey, is this the time where they take a step back or they get knocked a peg down by another team? Is this truly the year where the SEC West will not be dominated by Alabama? I think everybody's waiting to see that almost every season.
LSU and Bama, it's going to be a good one. LSU, they haven't beaten the Tide in 2 straight years since 2010, 2011. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Kevin Carter joining us here on HQ, previewing the triple header that we do have on CBS. And it kicks off at noon with Ohio State and Rutgers. Then we have a top 15 matchup with Missouri and Georgia. Mizzou trying to play spoiler to Georgia's perfect season. That's at 3:30 Eastern. And then at 7:45, we have LSU and Alabama. The Crimson Tide slightly favored in that matchup.